I think everybody is just simply waiting with bated breath for the other shoe to drop in the Trump situation for tomorrow, and everybody's just kind of on watch with that. So when it comes to significant news stories of the day, well, you could kind of tell by the other two videos that I put out earlier that there's nothing really like high level to discuss. There's a bunch of little simmering issues, all of which I'll talk about in the upcoming days and stuff. Like I could have talked about the merger in WWE and UFC, but that one will come out tomorrow. But you know what? I'm an ally after all, and we're going to talk about women's sports, okay? Women's basketball to be specific. I mean, it's kind of funny, right? The only time that it's just such a bad sport. The only time that it's relevant is either when dudes are coming in and dunking on broads, or when they're showboating. And it's funny, like this clip, obviously, just about 20 million views, is pretty popular. It's pretty popular, I guess, but the only thing that I'm noticing when we take a look at this, like just running it back, okay? So LSU beat, I have no idea. I forget, and it's not even, that big of a, we'll eventually get to it, but it's not that big of a, I'm even forgetting the term because it's just such ass, man. But if I played this clip, ESPN would copyright claim, and we don't need to, tempt fate or anything like that. But yeah, she's pointing at, her ring finger, not at a guy that she hopes eventually puts a ring. I know it's the wrong hand, but it's like, okay, with activity like that, and actually, the funniest thing that I didn't see anybody point out, well, given the fact that, okay, she's thrown up the whole John Cena hand in your face, which is funny. This is going down at the exact same time of WrestleMania going on, but it's funny. It's funny because we're going to get to the responses of all this stuff as well, but the girl that she's trying to get a rise out of, Caitlyn Clark, I guess, or something like that, is giving her absolutely no airtime. But in other clips that are out there, I see her dancing. The other girl, Angel Reese, she's out there dancing, trying to get all of the attention, and this Caitlyn chick is just looking straight ahead, just absolutely no play at all whatsoever. And that's the best way. That's just like really good game in general. If you ever have a woman trying to get an emotional reaction out of you, you pay her no mind. She just loses her shit. So yeah, the LSU won at the end of the day and other team lost, but does anybody really care? And it's funny. It's funny. All the heat is on that simple interaction. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, oh, the Final Four wrapped up? I thought the championship game would get more press. Oh, it's just the women's side of that? Oh, the reason that it's in the news, it's got to be a varsity dude that got cut from a team ended? Oh, no, there was showboating that was down there. Wow, wonderful, fantastic. So LSU's Angel Reese, unapologetic over gestures to Iowa Star? Yo, oh my God, just trash teams. Holy, the only one that when it comes to women's sports, okay, I know one team. Okay, I know that UConn was on something like a 26-year undefeated streak or something ridiculous like that, because like women's soccer, women's hockey, there's like two teams and the rest of them just suck ass. So it's like, bro, come on. If I had a gun to my head and somebody said, hey, with 20 million, probably like 50 million views on the clip that went around and everybody's seen last night, what were the two teams that were on display that played for the championship? With a gun to my head, we would have been redecorating a wall because I wouldn't have had a goddamn clue. But what's her response after the fact? Okay, so LSU's Angel Reese waved her hand in front of her face while staring down Caitlyn Clark. They report this stuff like these are names that we should know. Like, at least when they're reporting on the men's side of this stuff, they would have the associated team, maybe the position, if we're talking, different sports or something like that, like football or hockey or something like that. But you just report names like that, and it's like, okay, cool. Are they like the cheerleaders for the better teams? Like, what are we doing? Then pointed towards her finger as to say a ring was coming while walking toward the Iowa Star. Okay, the gesture's late and the Tigers 102-85. And the championship. Like, for fuck's sakes, okay, in Super Bowls, the most recent blowout was what? Denver dog walking, The Panthers? Oh, no, sorry. Or was that Seattle dog walking Denver? But yo, this is supposed to be a championship. Two of the best teams. I think it was 3-2. And they got beat by 17 points in the championship game. Brother, that's not even close. But yes, Sunday night lit up social media with comments supporting the Bayou Barbie. Which one's that? Well, okay, the Louisiana State. That won't make sense. Okay. For trash talk, that's just part of the game and condemning her, a lack of grace and victory. Yeah, I guess. I just seen that and it's like, yo, she's not getting any response on that one. She just kind of looks like a fool afterwards. But no. Leave it up to ESPN's resident race hustler to make this, just a white and black issue, as he says. I don't know any of the background of this stuff. Neither does Stephen A. Smith. So just fucking cut the shit, bro. Stephen A. Smith believes there's a racial component in the reaction of Angel Reese taunting Caitlyn Clark. Listen, man, outside of saying, hey, did you see that clip of that ladies' basketball game? And they're like, no, I don't follow any of that. No, the one where she was like waving her hand in front of her face and pointing to her face. Oh, that was basketball? Oh, okay. But let's see. Okay, as Reese and LSU defeated Clark's Iowa squad on Sunday to win the national title, well, if you want to see who would be the real national champion, just wait until tonight after the game. Whoever's playing for the championship over there. I know that it's not Miami, but why would we waste everybody's time? We already know who'd win. Reese hit Clark with the John Cena "you can't see me" hand gesture. Oh, see, she did that. And then, okay, I guess maybe Caitlyn Clark was just in character afterwards. It's like, you can't see me. It's like, okay, I can't see you. And she's like, fuck, I didn't think that far ahead. Speaking on ESPN's First Take, Smith said he is a big fan of Clark. Which one's, is that the white girl? Okay. And said that she has potential to be the greatest women's basketball player of all time. What, can she dunk? Is that it? Okay. Before saying he couldn't let her off the hook. She instigates this kind of stuff. Let's call it what it is. Take your word for it. Don't know. She was waving. She was doing the Cena. How about what she did to Raven Johnson? Yeah, how about that? That was either really good or tremendously terrible. I don't know what you're talking about. No, nobody does. She didn't just go into the lane and not guard her against South Carolina in the semifinals. Yeah, no, that was a close competitive game. Very good stuff. She waved her off. She didn't mind being disrespectful. So why is it that we're hesitant to bring that up? I think you know exactly why, because nobody knew about that situation, unless you're covering it, because the real March Madness is going on. This is just the warm-up act. Like when somebody goes to a comedy show, nobody says, oh man, you know what? You remember the third joke that the opener told? Smith concluded that race was Smith would conclude if he woke up late, if his alarm clock didn't go off at an appropriate time, he would conclude that race is a factor. So this isn't exactly an astounding take by the resident racist at ESPN. We all know that there's a white-black issue here. Because the fact of the matter is that Caitlyn did it, people were celebrating it, and we're talking about nothing but her greatness. You're the only one talking. Nobody knows who this fucking bitch is. Like, come on, she might be fantastic. She might be the second coming, but there would have to be a first coming to begin with, because these bitches are trash. Like, let's call it exactly what it is. On her post-game interview on ESPN, Reese mentioned that Smith was alluding to that she delivered the gesture to Clark in response to what happened to Clark in South Carolina. Yeah, I'm sure, whatever, man. Maybe they're just really deep into this stuff, but okay, Stephen A. Smith brought up race, another day that ends in Y. But then you see Shaq, who is LSU alumni. It's funny, everybody knows who Shaq played for in college, and can probably rattle off all the teams that he played for. Started off, he was drafted by the Magic. Let's see if I can get this right. Drafted by the Magic, moved over to the Lakers, moved over to Miami, and then from there, did he go to Phoenix first? Yeah, did he go to Phoenix first, or did he go to the Cavs? He might have went to the Phoenix or the Cavs, and then he ended up playing just a real trash partial season for the Celtics. And Shaq, who I have nothing but respect for, I don't know his take on the situation, but it's dollars to donuts going to be better than Keith Olbermann. Oh my God, this motherfucker. He has the worst takes on everything, okay? It's just amazing that in between his incessant Trump posting, he had time to do something related to sports. calling LSU star Angel Reese a effing idiot. Oh my god. Count Shaq among the chorus of people who aren't pleased with Keith Olbermann. The NBA legend slammed Olbermann early Monday morning after the political commentator, well, actually professional speaker in front of a bedsheet in his basement. That guy's such a dork. And former Sports Center anchor, yo, that was a long ass time ago, called LSU women's basketball star Angel Reese a fucking idiot. Oh my god, on Twitter for taunting Iowa star. We're just throwing around that term star now. Okay, Caitlyn Clark during Sunday's national championship game. Shut your dumb ass up and leave Angel Reese alone. See, she's such a star as well that Shaq don't even need to capitalize the name. Who starred for LSU at, from 89 to 92, a year before I was born. And see, I even remember all that shit. Responded on Twitter. Reese pointed at her ring finger. Yeah, we know all that stuff. She used all that shit as well. Reese told ESPN after the game that she was waiting to taunt Clark. Yo, rent free. As she took issue, Clark waving off South Carolina Raven Johnson as Johnson was completely unguarded behind the three-point line during the Final Four. What did she fucking miss? Yo, that would be sad. But okay, she does a taunt to an unrelated player and, in an attempt to, overshadow your own championship win, you have to make it all about yourself. Regardless if they're athletes or not, they're still women at the end of the day, and this is never going to cease not to be hilarious. But you know what else this also overshadows as well? Most likely the last time that there's going to be a female version of March Madness without any trans influence. Oh well. Maybe there will be an actual story to cover next year when it comes to this nonsense. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.